Episode 1. Rebirth. I was not dead. I need you to understand that. I was a psionic, a human from Earth who had learned to untether his mind from his body and walk the plane beyond matter. The astral expanse was my frontier. Infinite, silent, mine to explore. Until she showed up. A goddess. Starlight and living green, radiating the essence of life itself. Her voice filled my mind like roots cracking through stone. Another soul snatched too soon from the tapestry of existence. This premature severance is unacceptable. I was not severed. I was not dead. I was traveling. But she did not ask. Her will was absolute. Before I could even form a thought of protest, the warmth became a torrent, then darkness, then an agonizing lurch into something impossibly small. I woke up screaming, tiny lungs, tiny limbs, straw and doves and sunlight through leaded glass. A woman's face above me, exhausted, weathered, full of fragile wonder. A peasant's face. I stopped crying, clamped my jaw shut and stared up at her with every ounce of focus I had. She flinched, muttered a prayer, reached for my cheek with trembling fingers. I took stock. Pudgy limbs, coarse swaddling, a female infant, drafty timber walls, rushes on the floor, the smell of wood smoke and poverty. I had been stuffed into a newborn girl at the very bottom of society by a goddess who could not be bothered to check if I was actually dead. Wrong body. Wrong sex. Wrong everything. That goddess has a target on her back. The heavy door creaked open and a broad-shouldered man trudged in carrying firewood, smelling of dirt and sweat. He spoke to the woman, affectionate, gruff, completely incomprehensible. An alien language, another item on my growing list of grievances. But I am a psionic. My mind does not live in my brain, it lives in my soul. And a mind untethered from flesh can do things no ordinary person can. I had never tried stealing knowledge before, but the theory was sound. I reached into both of their minds simultaneously, slipped past their defenses without leaving a ripple, and pulled. Their language clicked into place like a solved puzzle. Their names, Ilara and Joran. A lifetime of knowledge about this place called Oakhaven, a farming village in the kingdom of Ethelgard. Magic existed here, uncommon, something you had to be born with. The nearest city, Riverwall, was a 3-day walk. Beyond that, their minds held nothing. No politics, no history, no ambition, just survival. Neither of them felt a thing. I also realized something unsettling. If I were not psionic, if my mind were stored in my brain like a normal person's, the reincarnation would have wiped me clean. No memories, no identity, just a blank infant with a goddess's blessing. She did not save me. She almost erased me. Now came the hard part. This body needed food, I refused to give it. I was not about to nurse. Instead, I reached inward and drew on ambient cosmic energy, what I used to call the dew of the universe. The hunger vanished, replaced by a quiet, ethereal warmth. When Ilara tried to feed me, I pressed my lips shut and turned away. By morning, she was terrified. A baby that never cries, never eats, stares at you like it is reading your soul. Ilara whispered her theory to Joran while I lay in their arms, listening to every word. She has to be mana-sensitive, right? Maybe she is a prodigy, and her revelation is living off of mana. In Ethelgard, mana sensitivity is an uncommon trait. You are either born with it or you are not. But a revelation is something rarer. A unique innate magical gift that only about 1 in 100 mana-sensitive people possess. Those who have one are called prodigies. And prodigies attract a very dangerous kind of attention. Joran went pale. Keep your voice down. If the Lord's bailiff hears even a whisper of a prodigy in Oakhaven, they will seize her for the Baron's court before the first snow. They decided to keep me secret. But Joran was not the type to let a gift rot in the mud. If I was truly mana-sensitive, he would give me a chance. They would save. Every spare copper. Every skipped meal. For as long as it took to buy a single book on magic. I listened to all of this in silence, filing it away. A revelation, a talent system. It reminded me of the isekai anime from my old life, except this was not a game, and the stakes were my actual existence. More importantly, a book on magic could answer the one question I actually cared about. Does this body have mana of its own, or am I limited to the psionic abilities I brought from Earth? They named me Kaidi, after Joran's mother. A strong name for the hard years ahead. A year passed. I mastered this body faster than any child should, but I played the part carefully. When they tried to coax my first words out of me, Mama, Dada, I gave them Jorn and Elra instead. Their actual names, mispronounced just enough. They froze. The color drained from their faces, so I giggled, pointed at them, repeated the names in a sing-song voice until Alara convinced herself I was just a remarkably bright child, mimicking sounds. That became my strategy. Whenever I slipped, whenever something too sharp or too knowing escaped this tiny mouth, I buried it under baby nonsense. I parroted Joran's morning grumbles. I'm haying out! And no der day, no der popper. He thought it was hilarious. Alara scolded him for muttering around an impressionable toddler. The mask held, when the boredom of an adult mind trapped in an infant body became unbearable. I retreated into Focus 12, an expanded state of psionic awareness where I could detach from my physical senses entirely. My body rested, my mind floated. Hours passed like minutes. It was the only thing that kept me sane through 3 years of mud, cold winters, and the excruciating pace of peasant life. Then, on my 3rd birthday, Joran came through the door beaming. In his arms was a leather-bound tome wrapped in greasy cloth. 3 years. 3 years of skipping meals, working longer hours, scraping together every copper they had. All for this. He knelt on the dirt floor and placed it in my hands. Alara stood behind him, clutching her shawl, caught between hope and terror. I opened the book. Dense handwriting, faded diagrams, pages of what had to be magical theory. I could not read a single word. I looked up at Joran. He looked at Alara. Neither of them could read either.